Hej allihopa, jag heter Brennan och idag ska jag prata lite om pengar I Sverige. So I wanted to talk a little bit about a challenge that I've had to deal with here in Sweden that has to do with money. Just a little bit of my history. I'm an American. I moved here to Sweden about 3 months ago. I'm here studying Swedish. I go to the University of Lund and I am a paying student. I am paying about 55,000 Swedish kroner per semester, which is about 6,000 US dollars, give or take. And most people that are students that were born in Sweden, or even people that come from other countries, but they are in some sort of a partnership with another person, or they have family here in Sweden, they don't have to pay for the courses. And so I'm paying a lot of money. Most people, when I talk to them about how much I'm paying, they're completely shocked. Now, that being said, it's been very difficult for me when it comes to paying for things here in this country. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm a complainer, but I am basically just presenting this information for educational purposes. I think it's important to know what you're getting into if you want to move to another country and to be prepared. And it's hard to know all the fine little details before you move. There will always be little challenges that pop up, and you just have to face those as they come up. Now, the majority of issues here in Sweden are really not that big, and I'm able to work myself around them. But what I find frustrating is when the problem is a challenge and there's no logical solution to be able to deal with that challenge. So a little bit of background here about Sweden. Sweden is a virtually cashless society. I have been to Sweden 4 other times, and every time I came here and I brought cash with me that I ordered through my bank, I'd bring Swedish cash. I never used any of it. I always had to take it back to my bank and have it turned back into American money because nobody would take cash here in this country. And that's fine, but there needs to be a solution to people that don't have a bank account here. And that's what you run into is you really need, if you're going to live here, you need a bank account. But you can't get a bank account unless you have what's called a personnummer. Well, you can't get a personnummer unless you're granted that by Skatteverket, which is like the tax agency here in Sweden. And they won't give that to you unless you meet a whole lot of criteria, which is very difficult. So, for example, me and my classmates that came here from outside the European Union and were paying for these classes, they are declining giving us even a temporary personnummer. And they're saying that you have to have a student visa for 12 months or more. Well, the problem is our visas are for 11 months because that is how long the course lasts. However, most of us plan to continue our studies or to go and apply for jobs here in Sweden when we're out. So in that time that we're waiting on getting jobs, we have to speak Swedish to be able to apply for most of the jobs here. Like myself, I'm a registered nurse, so I had to speak Swedish. And I'm paying for this course, and yet there's not a safety net for people that are coming here paying for these courses. There's not really even anything if you're a tourist. If you're a tourist here and you want to spend your money, they don't take cash at most places. There are some exceptions, but then you have to pay fees for withdrawing it from an ATM or getting it from your bank in the country you come from before you come to Sweden. And then you have to find people that will actually take the cash. In order to be able to pay for things electronically, you need a credit card that has a 4-digit passcode, a PIN number. And on my cards that I brought here, I have several of them. They all have PIN numbers. However, the problem is when I bring my American card over, even one that I have specifically that was advertised as being a card, it's a Chase Sapphire card. It was advertised as being a great card for doing transactions in other countries, and that's the whole reason I applied for that card. I still have to sign when I make a transaction. And so it's a huge hassle because you're in line trying to pay for things. People are getting mad at you because you're not paying wirelessly because the card won't work wirelessly. I went to purchase something today, and I found out that it is now illegal for me to sign to pay for something. I can't sign the receipt anymore. So I didn't know about that. That just happened I was completely shocked. And I guess because the amount of money that I'm spending on the credit card, even though I have a huge limit on that credit card that I can spend, I have great credit. Because of the amount and because I'm purchasing something outside the United States, even though I told them that I'm purchasing things here while I'm here as a student, I still have to sign. And they said, we can't take that, we can't sell to you. So there's been times I go to the grocery store and I can't buy groceries and I have to go home. I have to go find an ATM machine, which is not easy. You have to go into the downtown area to do that. There's people standing around watching you as you're getting your money, so I don't feel safe doing that. But I have to do that in order to have cash. There is a grocery store here that will take cash, I found out. But then you pay all these fees for conversion into Swedish dollars, and then you're paying fees for withdrawing from an ATM. I have an apartment I'm paying for. I have an electric bill. I have apartment insurance. However, I cannot pay for these digitally. Like, I can't do automatic payments. I can't create an account here because I don't have that person number, that identification number here in Sweden. So it's a huge pain to be able to pay for anything. And I don't understand, because I would think that that's not good business logic. If you want tourists to come here and spend money, you should have some sort of system in place to be able to take their money. If you can't take it and they're stuck here and they can't buy your food, then it's kind of like you're losing opportunities. It just doesn't seem like good business sense. And this conversation actually came up in my course at Lund University. My teacher was talking about it. And basically the banks here have a whole lot of power. And it is a real big problem. And I mean, there's no safety net. Like, let's say there's a solar flare or the power goes out. How are you going to be able to do transactions? We actually had that happen, I want to say like a month or two ago, where grocery stores lost a lot of money here, and they just were letting people take the groceries because there was no way they could take cash or do any transactions. So, I mean, Sweden is a wonderful country. I'm not complaining. I'm so grateful to be here, but I could probably count on one hand the things that are things I don't like here, because there's not very many of them. And I just want to be transparent with people and let them know that there are problems anywhere you go in the world and you need to be prepared for it. I am a little frustrated, though, because I don't see an easy solution to this. I actually applied for what's called a Revolut card, and I just got that in the mail. And thankfully, I was able to add some money to it. It's kind of like a credit card that you wire money from your bank into that credit card, and then you can use that credit card wirelessly. But there's some limitations with that too as well, because I tried to send some money to someone that I owed them some money, and they have to completely start a whole new account. It's kind of like starting PayPal or something like that. You have to make a whole new account to be able to get the money from me. So there needs to be some sort of solution to this. If they want to attract more students that are paying money to come to college here, that's contributing to society, there needs to be some process whereby we can get like a temporary identification number or something, just so that we can go buy groceries and so we can get a cell phone. I can't even get a cell phone plan. I have a prepaid cell phone that doesn't work very well. It's my iPhone from America, and I can't have more than, someone said, it basically, like, all the solutions that are given to me, none of them work, and I've tried to use them, but they just don't work here in Sweden, because it all goes back to that person number that you have to have in order to do anything here. And once you have that, things are great, I'm told. But it's just sad to me that we've got, like in my class, we've even got doctors that came here to start a new life. I'm a nurse. We're coming here to contribute to society, start a new life. There is no logic. There is no logic to this. I don't get it. So I'm not complaining. I want everyone to know that's considering to move to Sweden to be prepared for that. That's going to be a big challenge. And like I said, I'm sure I'm going to have some comments that are negative and like, whatever. I'm doing this for educational purposes. just so that everybody's prepared, because this is something I kind of knew a little bit about by doing research, but now I'm living it every day, and I'm really shocked at how difficult this is. So hopefully that information helps you a little bit out and is informative if you're thinking about moving here. If you already moved here, I'll probably do another video in the future about the Revolut card and let you know how that's going. So thank you all for your time, and wish you all stay safe. Take care.